Deathground is out, and I have been hyped for this game for a very, very long time. I saw initial teaser trailers, I want to say a good 4 or 5 years ago, and that was when it was coming out in a Kickstarter format, trying to get crowdfunding to even get this thing off the ground. Back before I even had a gaming PC, back before this channel was even created. It's available on Steam at this very moment, and behind me, you can see some raw gameplay, which I will note this game is in early access. Now, don't get me wrong, I had zero issues with the overall gameplay, but I hate when games do this. There's always risk that you are going to spend your hard-earned cash and then the game will never be completed. It has happened to me with early access games before, specifically, actually, another dinosaur game, Second Extinction, which I thoroughly enjoyed playing, but that's a different story for a different time. um in its current state, it runs smooth, relatively smooth. I There were no game breaking bugs. I had a couple of hiccups from time to time that were more annoyances than anything else. For instance, there were moments when I would be aiming my rifle and then trying to strafe at the same time, and for some reason my mouse would disconnect from the game and float over to my other monitor, and then my character model in game would continue to walk in the same direction that I was moving. It was almost like a desync. I don't know what happened there. But it was problematic when you were going up against a dinosaur that maybe had spotted you. But all you would have to do is drag your mouse back over and then click back into the game. So I don't know what that was all about, but it was very, very odd. As seen here, I confused this raptor so much with my crazy, awesome gameplay that he just froze out of fear. And then these guys here, they just decided to have a little break dance on the stairs. Now, I admit this only happened on this mission, and it came right after I threw a distraction. I think what happened was both of these dinosaurs tried to get up the stairs at the same time. So take your turn, boys. This map was a bit more open than the other two maps that I was able to play. So this might have contributed to the AI, freaking out a little bit and not knowing how to navigate the terrain. I'm not really sure. There are some things that need work with the AI. Clearly, it isn't quite up to snuff. There's typically these dinosaurs are walking, and it almost seems like they're walking in set paths, and they only really deviate from them when you progress the mission and open extra doors, and then they go to the new sections and find new holding patterns. Essentially, the AI for the dinosaurs doesn't need to be Alien Isolation level smart, but it's hard to compare the two, especially how much inspiration this game is clearly taking from Isolation. And they need to be definitely smarter than what they are now. They don't have a hunting pattern, so to speak. In Alien Isolation, you never really knew when the alien was going to pop out. And when it did, it didn't follow a set path. It reacted to its environment and moved like it was stalking you. I've seen some very interesting backstory and how they created the AI for that game, and it definitely seems really intense. And like I said, I'm not expecting that here, but these dinosaurs don't seem to react to environmentals so much unless it's something that you are physically doing. So, like throwing a bottle or stepping on glass, something like that. Now, objectives that you complete, like pushing a button and then the sirens going off and the lights flashing and everything, they don't seem to be drawn by that. Even the flashlight that you have, they don't seem to be drawn by that light either. And it's a little weird. Their walking animations are also a bit stiff, so the two are adding a little bit of jank to the game that could use a little bit of polishing. There are multiple sections in the maps where crates have fallen over in the pathway, and you kind of have to navigate around them. You can technically vault them, but even the vault button is a little finicky. You kind of sort of have to be looking at the thing you're vaulting rather than being able to look forward and then free vault over top of it. And it would be nice to see these dinosaurs navigating the terrain a little bit different than you. So, if they were to vault over these obstacles, whereas you have to sort of run around them because vaulting for you is a little bit more time consuming. That would be a nice addition and add a little bit of tension because it's closing the distance faster than you can actually run. Additionally, there were moments where there were gaps in catwalks. There's a landing below you, 20-ish feet or so, and you can jump down those gaps, but the dinosaur doesn't know how to do that. It has to run all the way over to the stairs and then come down the stairs after you. And that was very weird. At least nothing that I saw indicated that they could jump down those gaps in the catwalks. That's very odd. I would like to see where these dinosaurs and their AI would allow them to not only jump down, but maybe even jump up into those spaces. I think it would definitely add to the tension, especially if maybe it didn't even see you. Maybe it's just walking in its typical pathway, and it just decided to jump up, and it happens to be right next to you. That would certainly add a whole new level of tension that is not currently there right now. On the same note, when these dinosaurs spot you, they kind of just run at you in a straight line, pretty much, obviously. But it would be a very kind of cool mechanic if these dinosaurs maybe would call out to the other dinosaurs on the map, and you would have this um, pigeonhole effect where the dinosaurs would essentially be converging on that position, and almost like a volatile chase in the Dying Light series, if I can compare to that. That would add, good lord, that would add so much tension to the thing because, as you were running away from the dinosaur that initially spotted you, you would have another one potentially coming from the same direction that you're running. And I know that that would probably be a lot of coding for these, a couple of additional changes, but much, much deserved. And I don't want to say it's needed, but I would say that it would improve the tension in the gameplay tenfold. Currently, as it is right now, there are 3 missions plus a tutorial mission, which I think you have to do the tutorial mission solo. And at its current state, I ran them solo, with each taking about 40 minutes to an hour to complete, depending on the mission. If you know exactly where to go, you could probably complete them in, I want to say, 20 or 30 minutes if you're moving fast and you know how to navigate the terrain pretty well. Um, Also, that length, might be extended if you have multiple people. This is up to a 4-player co-op, so if you have multiple people, obviously you're going to probably be seen more, so you're going to have to scatter more and hide more. So I can see where, especially on the smaller maps, it might cause a little bit more chaos with more people, and it might extend that game time a little bit. That said, they've removed the character class option, so any class can bring any utility. So if 4 players bring a trank rifle, which I'm not sure if you can do or not. I don't know um, if multiple people can have the same item. But if that is a thing, I'm not sure the dinosaurs would even stand a chance or really be much of a threat. If it's locked to one character at a time, then okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, I can definitely see where that would be overpowered. Um, I think having the class system in there would require a lot of teamwork and coordination to navigate the maps, and I think that would cause for some pretty hectic moments, especially if you were, I don't know, your hacker was on one side of the map, and then you guys were on the other side of the map, hiding from dinosaurs inside of a locker, and you needed your hacker to come across the map and hack a door that you guys were at. Maybe you got separated at some point. That would cause some tension because you're trying to navigate around these dinosaurs while you're trying to wait for your teammate to get to you. And, having maybe mission sets that split your characters up. Specifically, when you're playing in co-op, obviously you couldn't do this in solo play, but having them need to split up and do things in either pairs or solo so that you're forcing your characters to navigate the terrain solo. That would cause a lot of tension and something that the character class option um, probably could have aided. Additionally, at the moment, we see six or so dinosaurs, but only one of them is actively hunting you. The T Rex and Allosaurus are briefly in the intro, but nowhere else. And the Triceratops and the Brachiosaurus are kind of just eye candy in the background. I would like to go up against some of these other dinosaurs, especially if their behaviors are different than the raptors. The other little annoyance of a dinosaur that I saw was the Compsognathus, Compy, as people typically refer to them. And they're really there to make sure that you don't stay in the vents too long. The problem is, at least that I found, I wasn't able to trank them. Now, I have seen video of people shooting them with the trank darts, so I'm not sure if I was experiencing a bug or if my aim truly is that bad. But I mean, this thing, it wasn't moving in front of me, and the dart just kind of went straight through it. I don't know if I was missing the hitbox. I think I might have been aiming towards the head, so maybe the head doesn't have a hitbox to it. I'm not sure. But it's pretty annoying because you can't really do too much with this thing or against this thing other than kind of skirt around it. And if you're stuck in the vents while a velociraptor, Utah raptor, sorry, it is outside of the vents trying to get you, you're kind of just stuck there getting chomped on until the raptor leaves. And that's pretty annoying mechanic because you're just sitting there losing health as it slowly chomps away at you. Maybe if they added something where you could, smack it a couple of times while it's draining your health, or maybe when it bites you, it leaves a bleed effect, and you can smack it and know that for a good 30 seconds to a minute or whatever it is, you have essentially free roam of the vents. I think that would be a good addition as well, and cause for less of annoyance with those little creatures. On the topic of annoyances, there is one more thing that I want to touch on briefly, and that's when you complete the final uh, moment of your main objective. The music gets really intense, and the dinosaurs go, crazy, and they start running around the map. Honestly, for no reason at all, other than to cause drama and tension. Um, I suppose you could lower the music volume down, but it is so incredibly loud that you can't actually hear what's going on in the game. So you have no idea if there's, a dinosaur right behind you or not. And it's not like there's a timer to get to the extraction or anything. Uh, it's just loud music and the dinosaurs going crazy for no reason. And I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is, other than to add a cheap form of tension to the ending of the gameplay. If you complete your objective and then maybe the alarms in the building start going off or something, and that's what's driving the dinosaurs to go mad. I can understand that, and if that's the case, then you can actually just kind of sort of lower the music or remove the music completely and use the rhythm and the noise of the alarms as your tension grabbing music, kind of sort of like what Alien Isolation, again, comparing to that game, hard not to, kind of sort of what that game would do. All of that aside, this game will feature supposedly more locations and more missions for each location, as well as hidden secrets and things around the world to explore to promote replayability. Um, I hopped into the same location twice, and the overall mission was the same, but things that I needed to pick up, like key cards and such, they were scattered in different spots. So I would say that that promotes a little bit of replayability, but as long as the overall mission is the same, and I know going into the mission like pretty much exactly what I'm going to do. The key card changing from a floor in room A to a desk in room C is not that much of a deviation. I think if they stick to their word, and this game eventually has different objectives for each location, that will definitely promote replayability. And if those mission types can be combined or crisscrossed, so I'm thinking specifically about the agricultural mission. You have to turn on the water valves at one point, and at the end of that, you flip on the generator, and then you make a break for it. Well, if maybe that mission is also crossed with the steal an egg mission or something along those lines, maybe those two missions can intersect with each other, and you never know how many sub objectives that you're going to have. That would definitely promote replayability. In addition to that, I don't know if they're planning on it, but a forge mode or something along the lines where or players can create their own maps, um, or if the maps themselves were procedurally generated, that would be probably the best option for that. Additionally, every time I've played a mission, the extraction point is in the same location. So if you combine the same extraction point with similar mission objectives, you are going to figure out a way to set up your um, uh, objectives so that you are completing them and you are almost directly next to that escape point. So if you have a rotating escape point, uh, that would certainly spice things up a bit because you don't know necessarily where you need to get to once you've completed that mission objective. But at the moment, this is a very bare bones experience. I would honestly say that this is an extended demo more so than early access. All of the early access games that I've ever played to this point have been a complete game with a little bit of jank to them that is going to need polishing. Now, I may be lucky in the games that I've selected. Like I said before, I don't typically like buying early access games. I've been burned on them before, but this isn't the norm from my experience. I will note that they are offering this game at a discount for the moment. It's $13, and after the initial launch period of 2 weeks, that price will rise as new content is supposed to be dropping shortly after. Now, it's discounted from $15, so you're only getting a couple of bucks off. And I don't know, as more content releases, I don't know if that price is going to go beyond that $15 marker, up to 20, 30, whatever, $60. I'm not sure, but it's a great incentive for you to buy now because once you buy it, you have the game, and as more content drops, well, you essentially get that content, I guess, for free in a way. But this has me slightly concerned with their funding situation. It seems like their funds have maybe uh, run out a little bit and they need a quick influx of cash to keep them afloat, or maybe to cut ties After their Kickstarter funds have dried up and they know that they can't deliver on their promises, so they're looking for that quick dash of cash before they cut tail and run. I hope I am wrong about this. It seems like they are acting in good faith. I've seen developer logs coming out and showing the progress of the game and everything and how they're working on things. It could all be smoke and mirrors. I don't know. I really do hope I am wrong about that. And it may dissuade you from jumping in on the low cost that it is now. But should all parties be telling the truth and there will be new content coming out, as well as updates and AI improvements and all of that, this game has massive, massive potential. Look, I enjoyed my short couple of hours with this title. I honestly wish that there were more missions because the game is fun. Despite the jank and the things that I've mentioned, this is a fun game, and I am itching to play more missions and to see more things. If nothing else changes and it's just literally more mission drops, I would like to see at least 15 plus missions to get your money's worth out of this. Now, if more missions drop and within each mission there is different objectives that will change and rotate, then I can see that mission list dropping a little bit, and maybe 8 to 10 missions, because that replayability would be there and would incentivize you to jump back into the same locations. I would recommend this game to survival horror fans and dinosaur fans. If we get those extra missions plus the ability to finally square off against the Allosaurus and the T-Rex instead of them just being a tease, and if those AI and animations improve, that's just a cherry on top that will catapult this game into a whole other category. The survival horror genre for dinosaurs is largely untapped, and this game has the right sauce to make a masterpiece, but it needs just a little more cooking. But that's all I've got for you today. Slap the like button on the way out, and hopefully, this game sees itself through completion. And someday soon, I will see you in the Deathground.